Hey, I'm Tyler.
And I'm K.C.
And you're listening to
The Element Blah Blah.
Howdy, howdy. T here with the Element Podcast.
T and K.
T and K right here, man.
Yeah.
Sitting on the Nebraska Furniture Mart couch.
Man.
What do you think?
Reminiscing.
Nostalgism.
Yeah. We're going to do a little of this today.
Yeah.
So, guys, it's time to dream.
That's right.
Dream big, as they say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dream on.
And that's what Bill says, right? I always dream big.
I always dream big.
That's right, dude. And when Bill does that, you listen.
I dream every time.
That's right. I guarantee you. So we're going to talk about some of our dreams and stuff today, especially when it relates to the outdoor world. But first,
I thought you said summer dreams.
Tyler's making a political statement over here.
I am, man. I got a shirt on. It looks like red. It's red, white, and blue. It says "Make Mechanicals Great Again." KC, what does that mean?
It's your party line.
That's it. That's it.
Tyler, what that means is not that they need to make better mechanical broadheads, which some people do, but instead, people need to come around to realize that there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
And that way is not to shoot a deer in the hindquarter. We've seen that done lately. That's a bad thing. Don't do that. But the way to do that is to understand that if you were shooting an adult arrow, as some would say, all right, you're shooting something that has good energy, good momentum out of a grown-up bow, it's okay to choose to shoot a well-made mechanical broadhead. We had a big old podcast on broadheads to roll back, so we won't go too far with that. But if you feel as if you are in that oppressed demographic of those who are okay with shooting a mechanical broadhead with a bow, you should go show your support. You know, get on the cause, right?
What if you're on the fence? Can you go watch a broadhead video and learn about broadheads and how you can shoot different shots?
At the moment, like while we're recording this podcast, you can't. However, by the time this podcast airs, I would imagine you can.
We got 2% uploaded already.
Good deal, dude. All right. 2%ers, right?
Yeah. We're in the bottom 2% tax bracket.
That's right.
So we have a video we did recently. We know we did the podcast, but if you want more of that, we go through a little more of like the different shot angles and choices you might make and why a certain broadhead would work. We show you every broadhead we could conjure for this video, and there's probably like over 15 of them probably.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different broadheads and different styles of broadheads. And we were a little bit more, what's the right word? Subjective?
Yeah.
Or objective, rather.
Objective.
Sorry. Yeah, we're a bit more objective with the video than we were our podcast. We kind of let it fly on the podcast about our personal opinions on things. But really just try to just do our best to present what each broadhead had going for it. It'd be great for you to get on there and comment like your thoughts and maybe something that we missed or whatever you may have had experience with as well. And then also go to theelementwild.com and get you a Make Mechanicals Great Again shirt because it's going to make you feel good. You're going to shoot good, and that means you're going to kill good when it comes to the dude. Isn't that the saying? Feel good, kill good.
I think that's it, man. Look good, feel good, look good, feel good, kill good.
Yeah,
I think it's it. Look good, feel good.
That's what we're going.
I made me another shirt.
That's right, dude.
Y'all better buy it.
Be ready for that one too.
Hey, this is a really soft shirt though. We try to get good quality shirts made. We could get just some like straight up cotton shirts, but we know that KC wouldn't wear them, so we don't get them. So
cotton makes me sweat.
We get that tri-blend and feel good.
We also will have some more shirts coming out pretty soon as well. So y'all be ready for that. We're going to make you looking slick for the fall.
I'm wearing them all, dude.
That's right, dude. I'm going to hunt out of that.
I just made these shirts for me, pretty much.
I think we're going to be wearing First Light, but we're going to be wearing our Element branded T-shirts in the tree stand. That's it.
For real. For real, dude.
But hope y'all enjoyed that last podcast we did. I actually enjoyed doing that. It's nice to be able to podcast about some things you're passionate about, and I feel like that's probably what we're going to do today.
Yeah.
I actually violated the rule, guys. We probably shouldn't acknowledge that we are podcasting while we're talking here, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
However, we are sitting down with you hanging out.
That's right.
It's just you don't
So
have
that
any
meme
input.
I showed. Yeah, did I show you that yesterday?
You showed?
Yeah.
What?
I showed the meme.
Oh, the meme you showed us.
There's
yes.
a meme. There's a meme where it's this kid. He's like eating a snack and laughing his head off, and right next to him is this poster on the wall with 3 other people laughing their heads off. He said, "This is what it's like listening to my favorite podcast."
Yep, that's right, dude. I follow this account on Twitter, which Twitter's underrated as far as social media platforms go. It's probably my favorite.
Well, maybe not anymore. Maybe
Why?
it's overrated. Or not overrated, but rated equally.
Because I rated it?
Equally rated. No, just because there's new ownership.
Oh, that actually hasn't gone through all the way.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, when you sell something for $57 billion, it takes a little bit of vetting to make it happen.
You know, I don't know. I'm not quite in that league. I'm close, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are already kind of changing over a little bit for the better. There's like some cool accounts, and one of them is like, what do they call it? Like Origin of Memes or something like that. So like they'll have like that poster and show what it originally was about, or the one that gets me every time. You know that it's like a drawing of like a lady with her eyes real big, looking out, something smiling. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if I know. Let me see if I can look it up.
It's like a Hoover vacuum commercial or something, but the expression on this lady's face is like a "what on earth is that?" kind of thing, you know.
How old is this lady?
It's a drawing.
Oh, it's a drawing?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like a housewife looking lady, which in drawings housewives are between 25 and 45. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, it's kind of like some people we know.
Yeah.
It's a drawing, huh?
Yeah.
Is she any of those you see?
Oh yeah, the first one.
This one?
Yeah. Oh, it's not a drawing.
I didn't.
It's a lady.
That's the one I was looking at.
I thought it was a
but
drawing.
When you said
It's not.
drawing, yeah. It's funny, dude. Yeah, she got the weird look going on.
Yeah, but it's just a normal commercial, or whatever. It's just a Hoover ad in a magazine. It's kind of funny.
Dude, I don't know. Thinking back on memes, there's probably something I'm missing, but I don't know if there's ever been a more viral explosion of memes than the Will Smith thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you remember all the memes that were made like a few weeks ago? When that
Yeah, I
happened?
tried to tune it out because I got annoyed with it.
Dude, it was everyone. It was just Chris Rock getting hit.
I still feel like it was a publicity stunt.
I do too.
Yeah.
Crazy. What do y'all think? Send us a DM if you haven't thought about
That's right. Yeah, let me know.
Anyway.
But yeah, as far as explosion over one thing, there's probably not very many. I crack up at a lot of them. The Bernie Sanders one, where he's like, standing outside in Vermont in the cold, and he's saying, "I am once again asking for you to," and then they insert whatever you want to. Yeah. "I am once again asking for you to go buy an Element T-shirt." Dude, that's hilarious. It just gets me, man.
Dude.
And then I don't know. There's a pretty big explosion that time whenever Bernie Sanders was at the. He's a very memeable guy, right? Because he's a clown. But like where he's like sitting with his mittens on at the DNC or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is that the one you were talking
That's
about?
what I was
He's
talking
sitting
about.
by himself
Yeah.
with his mittens on.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Pretty
With a
funny
mask
stuff.
on or whatever?
Yes, goofball.
Man, I put that in a video actually one time.
One of our videos?
Yeah, it was like last summer, I think. I can't remember which video it was, but I think I put that in a video.
Tyler, your politics are showing.
I'm just putting in meme and see what comes up. But yeah, today there's something that rhymes with meme that we actually, or memes that we want to talk about. It's dreams.
We're going to meme our dreams?
We're going to.
What meme best describes your dream?
I'm going to tell you what my dreams means to me. There's lots of Yoda memes.
Yeah.
There's lots of dog memes too. The Willy Wonka ones are pretty funny.
Those are pretty funny.
Yeah.
The memes were like, was it iFunny or whatever? Like originally, remember back whenever we were like early college is when memes kind of started.
Yeah.
And it was like E-Bombs World.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff, man. And like they were trying, like there was like these things that were like, just I don't know. It wasn't even really a meme. It was just like a generic image with some words on it. You know what I mean? It was kind of sweet.
You know the one with the monkey on the TV show, and he's just sitting there like he's looking forward with his eyes real wide. And he looks back in the second picture with his eyes back.
Yeah,
pretty funny.
Pretty funny.
That's a good
Kermit
one.
memes are always pretty good too. I like the Kermit memes.
Winnie the Pooh's got several memes.
Yeah, I bet.
Michael Jordan crying memes.
Jordan crying.
That was a pretty viral one right there for sure.
There's a lot of the Star Wars memes where Anakin's talking to Padme, whenever, you know what I'm talking about? You see those? Yeah.
Yeah, man, some good ones, dude.
Yeah.
Could sit there and look at these all day.
Yeah, we could.
Anyway.
And we will later. But for right now, we need to talk about your dreams. So we decided that summertime is a lot about planning, and y'all probably get tired of talking about this stuff, and we'll talk more about planning and stuff, but it's fun to dream a little bit and think about like some of the cool stuff that you're going to get to do this year or in the future that you just aspire and hope to do one day, or just like dream that maybe one day somehow this would happen. So we thought we would talk a little bit about like just what our dreams are. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you need to feel a little more inspired and think about like some of the horizons out there, or maybe like it's a good opportunity for y'all to also share some of the stuff with us and tell us what you think would be super, duper cool to do. Tyler, are we going to start at top tier or bottom tier?
Top tier.
Top tier?
Yep.
What is your absolute dreamiest dream of a hunt?
Well, this is a tough question, obviously.
It is.
Because there are things, I don't know, there's things like some guys might think that like an argali is a cooler experience or whatever than like a doll sheep. Because they're both sheep, but one of them's way bigger and one of them's further across the planet, more of an adventure or whatever. But for me, in the eye of this beholder, I think there are two things that stick up pretty far and above everything else. And we're talking about hunting here first, right? The argali thing would be cool because I like sheep.
So can you explain what an argali is? Because I think I know what that is, but
It's like a broad term for the species of sheep from the Middle East. So
is a Marco Polo an argali?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But I may be wrong, people, so let me know. But there's like a bunch of sheep in the Himalayas over there that are like considered argali from what I understand. I may be wrong here. Correct me if I'm
And they are
wrong.
different than ibex, right? Those are two different things.
Yes, I
Ibex are
believe so.
goats and argali are sheep.
Yes, I believe so. So I'm going to type in argali right now and just see what it defines it as. Argali is also known as the mountain sheep. It's a wild sheep that roams the highlands of Western and East Asia, the Himalayas, Tibet, and the Altai Mountains. So they can get like 400 pounds. Like some of those argali are huge. They're different sheep, though. It's not like it's like you said. There's different subspecies. That's a Marco Polo right there. Yeah, and these are like different Tibetan sheeps and stuff, or whatever. So, but
It just looks like a red sheep.
Yeah, it does. It might be. Actually,
I wonder if a red sheep is a type of argali.
Probably. But anyway, they're cool. I like sheep a lot. I know that's kind of weird maybe, but like I've always thought that a sheep was the top deal for me. The argali thing is just a little too much travel for my taste probably and a little bit too hostile in that area as far as humanity goes.
On that stuff.
Yeah. So I don't think I would ever go do that. So if I'm talking about the dreamiest of dream hunts that I would like to do, there's two of them, and I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to put them both out there and probably denote one as the winner, but it's hard. So now we're talking about sheep. A bighorn sheep on public land, just because, not necessarily because it's public, it's cooler than private, but more that it's public, and it has the aspect of wilderness. Whereas a lot of private stuff, you can kill sheep pretty easy that don't really behave like wild sheep, maybe. And then I think there's a place in Alberta that's famous for big sheep, big bighorns, and it's like on this mine where the ground is like warm and keeps the snow melted. I think this is what I've heard. And so they can feed on grass on this mine, right? And people just like line the boundary and that have tags and wait on a sheep to cross over the line and shoot it. It's not really my definition of what I want if I was thinking of the dreamiest of dreamy. So like honestly, I'm thinking, and I may have said this recently on a podcast, but British Columbia and Alberta are kind of out for me. Montana would be the dreamiest of dream hunts. I know it's like, it sounds close to home and all, but like
it's where the world records are.
They're big sheep there. There's lots of them. and they manage them to live wild and on public land. And so I'm kind of like, I think that would be the dreamiest of dream. But my runner-up, and maybe potentially, who knows, like sometimes I think like one is better than the other depending on the mood I'm in, is a gigantic Alaskan Yukon moose hunt. And I'd like to do it. Like, if you watch the Shockey videos, like every once in a while or often, he's like calling them through just like a fire forest of like low shrubs. It's just like orange and red and yellow, and that sucker just comes in just waving its head, from 400 yards or whatever. Like, if I could just go ahead and say the dream hunt, that's what happens on the dream hunt. Big huge moose. Because I've eaten moose meat, I loved it. It's the biggest deer there is, and they live in cool places, man.
If you could do this, but in the modern human era, and say like you have time, like you can travel a couple hundred years back or whatever, does that change anything about what you would do?
Good question. Maybe. But I don't know. Like, I look at the Jack O'Connor stories, which is not a couple hundred years, but it's a while back.
100 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just out there in the middle of nowhere, just smoking sheep all over the place, just leaving them on the mountain.
A bunch of them. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to do that necessarily, but it's like a Wild West. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure out what conservation is even at this point kind of story, and I think that's cool that, because we all, when we're young, want to just shoot everything, you know what I mean? And then at some point you shoot a bunch of stuff and you're like, oh, I kind of just want to shoot a few of these, but I want to shoot this kind of deal or whatever. I want to have this kind of experience. But I just think that, like, I don't know, that stuff up there in Montana is probably fairly developed compared to like what parts of Alaska would be right now or whatever for like doll sheep and stuff. So it's hard to tell, but I think Montana a couple hundred years ago, the only other thing that I can think of that would maybe be up there with it is like hunting an elk in a wild place that's really undeveloped back in the day. Like
Plains?
Rocky Mountain National Park even.
Yeah.
Like just places that like it's a park now,
Tyler,
right?
what's your favorite illegal hunt you could do?
I mean, yeah. Like prior to 1905, could I please hunt Rocky Mountain National Park for elk? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that would be cool. Plains elk would be cool. Like if you think about like the Missouri Breaks country, there's elk probably all over that stuff. I mean, there is right now, but even way out on the flat stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It'd be pretty cool to do for sure. What about you?
So I'm going to go off of the precedent here. Your top tier, there's two options, right?
That's my two.
This is top tier. I am going to go ahead and say like the Marco Polos. Assuming I would be in good enough shape to do it, which, it depends on your outfitter, of course, right? How good a shape you have to be in this stuff. Some guys just chase them down in cars and shoot them. But like going to a place that takes you 14 hours by bus to get there after you've flown halfway across the world seems really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming like within this dream, there's no like family responsibility where like I have to worry about self-preservation and also being away from my family for a really long time,
See, I was kind of playing that in, but yeah.
I'm not saying my family are holding me back from my dreams. That's not what I'm trying to say.
No,
But like,
you should make decisions based off of circumstances. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So, and by the way, while we were talking about Argali, Ovis Amon, Ovis is the family.
Sheep.
Genus. Ovis is the sheep genus, right? And Amon, Ammon, is the Argali. So technically, every Argali is the same species. Marco Polo, red sheep, all this stuff is all the same species, and it's all subspecies of that, which is akin to ibex as well. I'm pretty sure they can all hybridize and have valid young. So
really,
yeah. I think all goats are that way. Huh. So like you can take an ibex, and I saw Roger Ragland do this.
I bet you did.
Yeah, you can take an ibex and hybridize it with a boar goat, and you end up with an ibex hybrid that is just pretty much a goat.
I got a couple acres here. I might could try something like that.
That'd be pretty cool. Marco Polo Orgali, I think that would be just because it's like the largest horned animal out there.
Yeah,
huge, right?
They're cool, dude. They are cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool for sure.
And I hate to choose another sheep, but like to bring it back, I just really like Dall sheep.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah,
they're just beautiful, just a white thing.
Yeah,
and like especially the ones with the splayed out horns. Those are so cool, man.
The country too that they're in,
and it's a little bit more achievable, kind of like how your list was, right? Like a bighorn, you could almost hunt a Marco Polo for the same amount of money you could hunt a bighorn. I would think. I bet it's not that far off.
I don't know.
It's all.
The way I understand it is all that stuff. If you go over to the Middle East, is like $100,000 hunts.
What's a bighorn cost?
I think they're like 60.
Those are both unattainable for me. So about the same dollar amount. Yeah. But like, just like the moose thing is a slightly bit more attainable.
Yeah.
The Dall sheep is slightly bit more obtainable, I would think too. So I would say that like the Marco Polo thing would not be something I'm ever going to do, and I'm okay with that. It's just like, wow, that would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Right. But like, I almost want to say I see myself shooting a Dall sheep before I die.
Oh, I'd love it, dude.
Some things would have to fall into place.
Dall sheep is, I mean, it's there too.
Yeah.
I mean, sheep are cool, dude.
Yeah, they're neat.
They live in cool places. They're super
They
wild.
thrive in cool places. That's what's wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they...
Where nothing else thrives.
Yes. God said, hey, look at this thing I made, like this country I made. I'm going to make an animal that works here perfectly.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Like, as far as like a big mammal, nothing else inhabits some of those territories. Think about like some of the desert sheep. Ain't nothing out there.
No.
Mule deer won't even live in some of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But
just making a living. Dude, I love watching those videos of desert bighorns just cracking their heads against cactus until they break them and eat them.
looking like aliens.
Dude, they do look like aliens. Their eyes are way on the side of their head. Can you imagine being a big ram and like, I don't know, growing up and you can see, and then all of a sudden you're 7 and like your peripheral vision just goes away. You know what I mean? It's so strange.
Yep.
I think that's why they hang out in bands, because they can't see very good anymore. Probably. You know?
Does any pre-Columbian stuff matter? Or whatever you want to call it.
Pre-European Africa.
Yeah.
Like if I could be one of the first people to like explore Africa and hunt there.
That's a cool thought.
I would absolutely do it. Like, still one day might
that's a good
get the opportunity to go to Africa and would do it, and I think it would be cool. But like before high fences, before outfitting, going to Africa and just being like, I'm going to go hunt one of those. Like, it'd be sick.
Yeah. Be a good way to die too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a real good way to die of the tsetse fly, a real good way to die of malaria.
TT fly.
Yeah. But
die of alligator, of hippo, of elephant.
No alligators in Africa.
Not crocodile. What am I doing?
Come on, man.
Sorry. Always conservation minded, man. Alligator,
right.
American alligator is the greatest conservation story of American.
Is it?
Anyway, that's definitely the African thing is something I didn't think about, but that would be really cool because also you could die from just tribal warfare or whatever you want to call it.
Probably could.
Because there's been war over there for so much history, man. It's crazy.
Same thing goes for any of those Asian countries too.
Yeah.
What's weird is like, nowadays the West is kind of like where war happens, or what? Well, actually, we take our wars to poor places and have them there.
Yeah.
But the orchestrators of war since about the 1600s have been French, Spanish, English, now America and other people. Anyways, but like. You talk about like millennia of war. There's a reason why Afghanistan's never been conquered. It's because they are real good at fighting where they live, and they've been doing it for a long time. So I don't know. Anyways.
Crazy.
Nah, politics too much.
Yeah. Let's move on to this dreamiest of dreams fishing trips.
And we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the same format where like we have our alternate that's like
probably an alternate. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think I know what you're about to say. I got a thought.
what I'm gonna say for my dreamiest of dreams. Well, tell me what you think it is.
This may be your backup though.
It's okay.
Seychelles.
Seychelles is my dreamiest. Dreams.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Or any, I would say Seychelles because it's the most famous, but any of the atolls of like the Indo-Pacific.
Ocean,
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's just what I love about saltwater is you can go to the Texas coast, cast out something, and one of 10 things will eat it.
Yeah.
You go over there, and it's one of 50 things will eat it, and they all are the color of the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane, and most of them taste good, which is strange,
Yeah.
right? So, like, it's just a lot of options, and it's very fly fishing friendly because it's a lot of it's shallow water, clear water stuff. I mean, imagine getting to catch Picasso parrotfish, right? That might be the one that's in Florida. I don't know. The big old, what's that thing called? He's got that big old thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
on
about.
the front. It's a parrotfish. It's got the big old thing. They get huge. You catch them on fly rod. And those guys. And then you could catch a giant
The
trevally.
steephead?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Whatever. You can catch a giant trevally, same area, like probably the ultimate sport fish, honestly, for a fly fisherman would be that.
GTs.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, dude. Isn't it wild how, like, you just went to Florida
Yeah.
and did some stuff.
We saw a bunch of cool parrotfish.
You saw the tarpon that, like, eat from your hand and stuff. But, like, it's the same thing with those giant trevally. Like, people go out there trying to catch them and work real hard for them, but then, like, they'll be cleaning a bonita and they throw the carcass out there, and those giant trevally just, like, if you stuck your arm in there, it'd be gone.
Yeah.
They'd eat it.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah. Dogtooth tuna are out there, too, in the Indo-Pacific. Yeah, just that general area. Like, if you could spend 10 days out there with a couple different boating options, like inshore, offshore, it'd be pretty hard to beat.
It would, man. Man. Parrotfish are the coolest, dude.
They're neat.
And they say they're real tasty.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which is weird because they eat coral. What's your alternate?
Well, okay. We were talking about this the other day. I don't know. It's so hard to say.
Yeah.
Because I'd do like something freshwater. Fishing is so much more obtainable pretty much than, because like licensing and tag allocations come into play with hunting, where fishing travel is the biggest impediment there. Like you can literally.
There's, the world is 70% of its water, right, or whatever. So you just have a lot more fish in the sea than you do animals on the land.
Yeah. So
it costs more to shoot an animal.
I would say something exploratory would be my next thing. So like we were talking about the other day, like some of the like Alps stuff where there are kind of like semi-undocumented species of trout that are like closely related to brown trout that you can just go fish, like Slovenia or Romania or any of these places that have like crystal clear streams that have fish in them that nobody talks about because it's just not an industrialized fishery. That would be pretty cool. I think that would be top tier at least. Would be that.
It's cool, man.
What about you? Well, no, I get to give my in time when get to go back in time. Yeah, definitely. Whenever it was legal to fish for great whites.
Oh,
absolutely,
dude.
Without question, that would be that. Like that's my number one, but it's just not legal anymore. So that would be number one for sure. To catch the baddest living apex predator on planet Earth on a rod and reel would be pretty sick.
Just throw a big old seal with a hook in it. Yeah.
Sick.
Be awesome.
Nasty. just troll around a dead whale. How cool is that?
Be awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the first thing I thought when I started seeing those Discovery great white shark explosions. I was like, Hold up. They need to put a hook in that seal bait right there.
I always wanted to know how long they trawled that thing. Like,
Yeah,
did they get a blow up every 2 hours or was a blow up every 3 days?
Yeah.
You know?
How much video space and batteries did they use?
I don't know, a bunch. Because they were shooting that stuff at pretty high frame rates.
Yeah.
I remember, like, Shark Week was such a big deal for a long time, you know? I remember watching those episodes, and then it's like the first time I ever was introduced to the concept of frame rates and like shooting things in super slow mo and stuff, and thinking about that stuff. And
there's some epic stuff there, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I think for me, man, I've got I don't know. I have 2 top tier ones, probably, and then a good old alternate. Alternate.
No, we're going to do the alternates here in a little bit. We're going, aren't we?
Okay. Yeah, you're
but
right.
You're back in time one.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got, I would say, I don't know, I've been on a really big kick for just blue water fishing lately, the last couple of years, ever since kind of preparing for the Cabo trip and drawing the short straw there. So, thanks, Hunter. Anyway, one thing I really want to do is catch it. Well, I can talk about that later. What I would do, my dreamiest of dream trips probably right now is going to be a very close run again between Panama for black marlin, because it's wild, but it's, from what I understand, it's pretty easy to get to and to fly to or whatever, but still really pretty remote and wild, and you just you're within a couple hundred yards of the shore, trolling off the jungle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And black marlin that are 500 to 1,000 pounds are circling the waters, you know what I mean?
Pretty cool.
I mean, dude, I've seen some pictures. Those things are cool, dude.
You gonna string it up or you gonna let it go?
I don't know. Probably let it go. I guess it just depends.
What are the odds of a 1,000-pound marling surviving?
Slim.
I feel like that too.
Yeah. I mean, but I know that YouTube would want you to let it go.
Surely they eat pretty good, right?
Oh, I guarantee you they do.
Swordfish eat great, no matter how big they are.
Dude, I mean, yeah. They keep lots of marlin to eat. I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't be able to take a ton of it home, probably.
Dream fishing trip. You get to carry it all home.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm paying for take it all, send it all home. So that's kind of the thing there. I think there's big tuna in that area too. And then they actually have really cool, I think I don't know if they call it reef fishing or whatever, but it's deep water, grouper species and stuff like that, snapper and stuff like that. I think they have really good fishing for that too there in Panama. So that's kind of, lately, that's been kind of one of my dream trips. Would be a Panama deal like that, or on the same vein, a marlin trip to Bermuda or something. But then my alternate is probably the Seychelles, for all the reasons you listed. And then,
sorry to take it from you.
No, it's good. I mean, how do you beat it,
Well, that means that maybe we could go together one day and split some costs if we're both trying to get there.
Okay. Next year.
Yeah, exactly.
See you, Eric. We can video this one. He's not listening. Anyway, so my what is it? Back in time one?
Yeah, you're back in time one.
Back in time, Back to the Future. I don't know. Probably this sounds lame, probably, but I would like to just take a Rocky Mountain West, not Rocky Mountain, but a Western North America trip that I just catch all of the native cutthroat type species, as many as I could, you know, just basically take 4 months and do that.
It's cool. Yeah, that would be pretty fun. I mean, why would that have to be a back in time?
Because those species are mixed with rainbows, and they're also just to be wild,
pure strain.
Not have a bunch of white folk everywhere on the roads.
Yeah, what's that? A bunch of just non-consumptive users out there just in the way.
And also not non-paying users.
Yeah. What's the that extinct cutthroat from the Arkansas drainage? Do you remember what it's called?
No, what is it? The Arkansas River?
Yeah. It's There's an extinct cutthroat that was like the biggest of the Colorado
I remember
cutthroats.
us looking at this.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up, just like Rogan would have me do.
Mm-hmm. It's supposedly been gone since like yellowfin cutthroat. That's right.
Yeah.
And was like the brightest and biggest of the cutthroat in Colorado.
Yeah. Previously thought to be extinct was recently. Hold on.
Oh,
Hold on. Here we go.
Right.
This is
Here
why.
we go.
This is why I love these cutthroat, dude. Back from the day, extinct Colorado cutthroat trout rediscovered years later. Okay, never mind.
That's talking about a greenback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
They want to, who knows?
San Juan River Basin, Colorado cutthroat lineage of some sort. This stuff is pretty cool if you like to nerd out and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
you can really. There are like so many different like unique little variances in cutthroats that they'll find. Like, I was looking at one I was trying to catch a couple years ago on the big trip that like they had a long time ago diverted water from the creek, and they had hand dug a irrigation canal and diverted water flow to that, which ended up cutting the cutthroat in that particular stream off below that diversion or whatever, or above it, or however that works, I guess. And there was they found in the 2000s or whatever, they found this. They were like, this is a unique population of Colorado cutthroats where it's extremely pure, or whatever, because it's been cut off because of this irrigation canal. And it's, I don't know, just stuff like that. Just, it's history, man.
It is cool, man. I mean, the first time I ever thought much about it was 2013. I was in Colorado elk hunting and just walking around in the mountains and saw some cutthroat in a stream. And I was like, how did they get there? Where do they go? There's no way that fish swam up from down, I don't know. It's 14, 15 miles probably to the river. And this, it's cool, man.
Just living there while it snows and ices in the middle of winter.
That's right, man.
Crazy,
it's wild.
dude.
I thought you were going to say, since we're going back in time, I thought you were going to say the Pacific salmon runs, which... If I would be allotted for you and me to maybe say oh, by the way,
we're going on this trip and we're catching all these things.
Yeah,
cutthroat
to
and
go
Pacific.
See the American salmon runs would be awesome. It's
true,
and
man.
To fish those,
yeah, it's a good thought.
That would be really cool.
It would be sick, man. Well, those are our dreamiest of dreams. We have some things that we aspire to, which we have made the designation, at least amongst ourselves, that when you aspire to do something, you actually have a pretty good chance of doing that thing at some point, right? So this is the difference in these two things, is that the dreamiest of dreams are likely never going to happen. I mean, we could put money on the fact that Casey's probably not going to shoot a Marco Polo at any time in his life. Maybe, maybe not, but probably not.
Who knows? Maybe somebody listens to this podcast and just wants to hook me up.
Man. Hint, hint. And so the aspirational hunting or fishing trips are the ones that are a little more obtainable that we think we would like to do. So let's talk about those a little bit. I would also like to hear some of the ones that are, if somebody out there has a really cool thought about something they would want to do, they aspire to do, or would be a dream trip that was different than what we've talked about. I'd like you to email or DM us or whatever, because I'd like that stuff to be on my radar too.
Yeah.
But let's start off with hunting, and
we got kind of two here as well.
Hunting. Top two or top tier for two of them.
Okay. Man, I didn't think about this enough. I don't think.
It's weird because you can't make it just outrageous. You know?
Yeah. You got to figure out what it would be. I will say this is not my. This is not the top one. This is the second one. Okay. Jay Scott makes those Gould turkeys look real cool.
Ah, how about that?
As weird as that sounds, if I can go shoot a mess of them, I don't want to go to Mexico to shoot one. You got to at least let me shoot two.
Yep.
Yeah. But that looks really neat.
Yeah.
I think that I would like to do that sometime.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's going to happen in my lifetime, but it's obtainable.
Yeah.
If I decided I wanted to go do it. It looks really neat.
It does look cool. Those are big birds, man.
They are.
They're cool.
And they're really wide on the tips.
You know what else looks real cool?
What's that?
A gigantic mule deer.
That's your obtainable one?
I mean, I'm just throwing that out there as one of those things. It's not the top one, but
are you using
it's in
that
the list
one?
somewhere.
Are you using that one right now?
I'm just telling you that I may have a chance to obtain that one.
You might have a chance to obtain that one. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I drew a pretty slick tag this year.
Is that your second one in
It's
there?
just an announcement.
Okay.
That I drew a tag.
Did you imagine that when you would kill a big mule deer, assuming that you have success, did you imagine it would have velvet?
Nope, probably not. I mean, definitely not when I first started applying for this thing, I don't think. And also, until like last year, I was wanting to hunt the rut for them. And then I realized that if I wanted a rut hunt, I'd have to be older than any man lives to anymore.
Is it really that bad?
I mean, no, probably not. But I'm just saying it's outrageous. Like what the rut hunts are going to go for. And Colorado is probably not like the state as a general public is probably not too ready and willing to just make hunting awesome again. And I'm thinking less and less tags as opposed to more and more tags over the years.
Fun.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so that's not your second one.
No, that's just my announcement that I drew.
You drew a
cool
good Colorado tag.
Yeah.
It's exciting, man.
Yeah.
I'm stoked about that.
Me too.
What's your B for tier 2?
Man.
Or you can give me A, but I just assume since I did B that you want to do 2.
An Alaskan Yukon moose is expensive if you just don't know anybody, right? But I have potentially a few connections on some stuff like that I might could do it for actually pretty affordable. So it's kind of weird, but there's some overlap there potentially.
So that's not your dreamiest of dream moose?
No, that would be the dream.
So you're saying you are melding your dreamiest of dream and your obtainable.
Yeah, because it's
can we all be like you?
I know, man. I know. That's in there for sure.
Yeah.
I think it is obtainable. I think I will do that at some point. I want to shoot a moose. We talked about doing moose in like 2020 at some point.
Gosh,
in this thing,
dude,
and look at us now, our jokes.
Well, 2020 was quite not the year to travel.
Yeah.
So
yeah, 22 is though we're traveling, just not to Alaska.
Yeah, well, who knows what the future holds?
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, hey. So, with that being said, I think. What was I just thinking? I had it in my mind.
Sorry, I probably said something distracting.
No. I had one in my mind, and I'll be honest. If I could go ahead and throw the word big, a big elk, just wild place, bugling coming to me, would be about as cool as something I could obtain, I think. So I don't really have like a place. I mean, I'm building points in Arizona. I'm there for the long game, so that's probably.
I'm not.
Probably the place. Not anymore, are you?
Burn Arizona points, guys.
We got so many tags, man. So many tags.
Yep. I think that's probably mine too. I mean, we're going to get to hunt Iowa pretty soon for whitetail, and it's just not on the same level because it only takes 3, 4, 5 years. So it's like, yeah, it takes some time, it takes some commitment, but it's not like a dream. I guess you could say you dream about hunting a well-managed place in Iowa. Now, that's kind of hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Well,
could be.
This is what I was thinking that I forgot about, though. I always wanted to hunt whitetail growing up in Saskatchewan. I wanted to do that bad.
I feel like it's cold.
Yeah, I didn't want to do the cold hunt. I wanted to do something more,
Do they kill deer earlier in the year?
Some.
There?
I mean, I think the rut's in November still.
Yeah.
The same thing. I mean, Alberta would have probably been in the same league, but we always talked about Saskatchewan because we saw some hunts on like Realtree or whatever. That was it. But if I could choose one that I would do the go back in time deal, it might be. This is an obtainable thing, right? But it would probably be about a 2010 Iowa tag.
Ooh.
Right before the HD
Before
outbreak.
HD, before it got crazy wild. That'd be pretty cool.
That was like the time. It was like we came out of this 90s. When the 90s came through, we went from that to like we learned how to manage deer in the 90s. And then, like, every show talked about passing deer and letting them grow and stuff. And by 2010, right before the HD outbreak, there were giants everywhere there, I felt like.
It seemed like it for sure.
Yeah, it seems like it for sure. But
that's a pretty good one. I think that elk in the Southwest is probably my most obtainable one I want to do again. And big elk, like 340 plus. That's
elk.
330 is probably my line of delineation of big elk. I mean, if you're at home and you've shot a 305 and you call it a big elk, I believe you and I agree. But like, there's difference. You know, that's a mature elk. You know, like big antlered elk or that 340. To shoot a Boone and Crockett elk, it's a 375, right? Or 380.
I thought it was 370, but
maybe
it's 375 or something like that. Yeah,
crazy big.
Yeah.
Like
there's just not many of them, man.
Yes, you equate that, like, in my humble opinion, it is way harder to shoot a Boone and Crockett elk than it is to shoot a Boone and Crockett whitetail. Haven't done either.
I don't know. I should look up some stats on that.
Well,
because you could look up like how many hunters and how many booners.
You can skew all this, right?
You can,
because you can outfit anything and make it happen if you got the money.
But here's the deal: is it's net, and a elk is going to typically be a lot more symmetrical than deer.
Well, I wasn't really going net in my head when I was talking about Boone and Crockett. Like if I shoot a 370
it has to net if it's Boone and Crockett.
Yeah, if you book it.
Yeah. So that's crazy because a Boone and Crockett elk is probably like close to a 390 or something like that, you know, in a lot of cases.
I think
380s.
Well, if I remember right, the non-typical's probably easier to hit than the typical. It's just finding the non-typical.
Probably.
Because I think it's only like 390 or something.
Yeah,
like
there's just not many of them or whatever. Yeah.
It's not a very
crazy.
non-typical critter.
So cool, dude. Oh.
Yeah. Mule deer, on the other hand, it seems like would be not easy, but like very obtainable, if I remember right.
Dude, money fixes all of this.
It does. Absolutely.
If you want to shoot something that goes in the book, you can pay to make that happen.
We have a friend, you know a lot better than me, but both have a friend who has enough money to do it all. And he gets that and chooses to kind of make sure he doesn't go on like the
Camp Dalyson in
West exactly.
Texas.
But at the same time, he's not just getting the outfitter to pick him out. He's going and doing it the hard because he understands.
Yeah, he'll go on a sheep hunt. He's been trying to shoot a bighorn, I think 2 or 3 trips and has not been successful. When he could definitely, if he wanted, I think he could just pay for it to be done. But he eats up the storytelling that the guides do, and like he loves that daggum experience, man. Like. He is all about that. And, I mean, you'd walk into his house and people be like, oh, he's a trophy hunter. He'll looks like Cabela's or whatever in there. You know, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, he's got some cool stuff, but he eats up the experience. It's crazy. If you ever talk to him about hunting, he almost always just talks about the guides and the stories and stuff like that instead of how big the deer was or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah. He drew a good tag last year, and I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. But I was talking to him about it, and dude, he lit up. You know, he's just so excited. You know, and what's funny is he could have went and bought the same thing, but like drawing it.
Oh yeah,
was exciting.
Dude. Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. It's cool.
Yeah,
but anyway.
It is, man. So I want to ask you because this kind of goes into the theme, like, but what you're most excited about this year. But I feel as if maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
Okay.
What do you think?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not too much. We'll
got to tease that a little bit.
Yeah, we might need to wait a little bit before we talk about that. So, but yeah, I mean, there's lots of exciting stuff this year. First of all, we should talk about our fishing though. Aspirational fishing.
Oh,
we almost missed that.
I forgot.
Got to give the people what they want, dude.
Yeah. So 2 of them.
I know mine if you don't.
You know 2?
I know 1.
Okay.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I think this is the top aspirational one for me. Okay, I know both of them.
Okay.
They're both right there.
Okay.
They call them leopard trout. They are rainbows that are completely just spotted up like crazy in Alaska. I want to catch them on a mouse.
It's cool.
in the wilderness.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to be in a glacier-looking river, stripping a mouse hand over hand, and just have a 30-incher come up and just submarine that dude.
That's pretty sick.
That's one. And the other one is a like Arctic Circle tundra Arctic char fishing trip.
Like, big old lit up,
Yeah.
like dollies and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That would be cool.
Those are probably my top two, like, aspirational.
It's funny how, like, both of those lead you up the Pacific coast to Alaska, pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tarpon's in there close, man.
That's real aspirational. Like, we can possibly do that, like, in a couple summers.
I almost jumped one the other day.
What do you mean almost jumped it? How does that happen?
They were in the area while I was fishing. Yeah, and thought I was going to get a bite.
On fly?
I got a couple bites.
Did you catch anything on fly rod?
No, I didn't. We weren't able to get a frenzy going enough. You know what I mean? So that is actually what before I figured out the char thing just a second ago. That was going to be my other one. Is I want to catch a bull mahi, a bull dorado on a fly, and I want to put it on my wall like right there.
Be pretty sick.
Yeah,
It's a good
because
spot.
I need some color in here, man. It's
Yeah,
so
man.
gray and
Both
brown.
of those. I mean, that char would look pretty good too.
Yeah.
Obtainables. I think one I haven't thought much about. I'm just gonna throw it out there because whatever. One of those like North Country lakes that are just slam packed full of pike. Mm-hmm. I think that would be cool to go do.
Yeah.
Like a fly-in type deal.
Yeah.
That's, like there's apparently, it's always a story, right? But apparently if you go far enough north in Ontario or Alberta or wherever, you just get up there where it's just half water, half land.
Yeah,
And
no roads.
Yeah, no roads, and there's fish everywhere.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty cool.
Fish just getting old and dying out there.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy.
It's wild. Lake trout, giant lake trout in those lakes too, from what I understand.
I would eat that up so much,
That'd
dude.
be cool.
That would be so cool.
Yeah,
I would
we
love
might need
it
to
so.
look at that and just see how much it costs to do. The problem is going to Canada.
You know what the other problem is? Massive inflation while my income stays the same.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Terrible.
it might be a few years before my income catches up with the inflation.
Who knows how that even works? We can
I'm
just
about to buy some gold.
do Trudeau dollars instead, and
Yeah,
they'll be
there you
fine.
go. Well,
The other one,
if socialism, you should just be able to go up there. And
yeah, they're my fish too.
they can just share me a plane,
Right,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Share a plane over to me.
The other very obtainable that I foresee myself doing, like within the next 2 or 3 years, is DIY Bahamas.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you.
Gosh, there's so many cool fishing places, man.
Yeah, DIY Bahamas
There's
is
way more cool fishing than hunting.
like you and I can go do that for $1,000 each and
I know the guy, dude.
be gone for like 7 days.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. It doesn't cost anything.
You know what I found out about the Bahamas? It ain't just bonefish and flat stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's really good offshore stuff. I did not know that. I thought
believe
it was mostly just bonefish and, that kind of stuff.
I would imagine as soon as you go offshore, the price goes up.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
There's a ferry that runs from Miami
Yeah.
to
We
the
almost
Bahamas.
went.
It's not expensive.
I know. Kaylee and I almost did it.
Yeah.
And we decided, we were like, man, I just need to get back and do some work. And we were like, it was an open thing until like last week.
You can go to the Bahamas for a day.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost hardly like $80.
I know. It's like $75.
Yeah, it's wild.
I know.
Dude. You go over there and then you just hop on a taxi or whatever you want and go to whatever island you want to, and
Yep.
then you're there.
Yep.
Ain't hard.
Just got to make sure your taxi driver ain't been drinking that red stripe.
That's right, dude. Just lay off the conks. But yeah, sounds like a lot of fun, and I would like to do that soon. I mean, you can fly to Miami. Not very bad. Y'all did it, right?
Yeah, we at one point before we booked, we could have got flights for $20.
Cry.
I know. We got them pretty cheap still,
Yeah.
but now I don't know if it's quite the same.
Yeah, gas went crazy.
Yeah,
So
that's what I heard.
word on the street is.
Word on Facebook is.
So, anyways, yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. We were going somewhere after that.
were we?
Dream buck, dream fish.
Ooh, yeah. All right, I'm just gonna give y'all a shameless plug here, because I just thought about it. So one of my dream buddies, Chadrick Rice, One of my dream friends.
Hey,
a lot, right?
I like it.
Yeah. So Cruiser Saddles has a Father's Day sale coming up soon. They actually just got me to record an ad for it. That's why, because if you see a sponsored ad on your Instagram feed of me looking dumb, it's I'm sorry, okay, but they are having a pretty good deal for Father's Day. It's 20% off any Cruiser saddle system. So go check that out at cruiser.com. So I hopefully will shoot my dream buck from a Cruiser this year, maybe from the ground. I don't know. We were talking about this a while ago. And it's very hard. Like I fancy myself a creative person. However, it's hard for me to get certain deer out of my mind. So I'm going to have to say the buck that you and I stalked this year on the ground is about near my dream buck. I mean, teetering on 170, about a half inch of deductions.
Yeah.
I mean, symmetrical as all get out, just a
Wide.
box frame. He had shorter G2s than his G3s, which is not ideal. However, his G3 and G4s were very long for what they were.
So if he's the dream buck, this year he grows longer G2s.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
He's the dreamiest of dream bucks.
He's a pretty dreamy buck. Eric and I were 21 yards from him one time.
Oh.
Cry
Man,
Central.
the footage is good of the back of your head, too.
Oh, my goodness. Those Sony headphones weren't good.
Yeah, they do. They cancel
Can't
cancel
hear
noise.
nothing we're saying. There it is.
Anyway, I feel like I shot the dream buck this year.
You about near did.
18 points.
Do you think of a non-typical as a dream buck?
Not really.
What do you think about?
I think I like typicals, man, but I will say that like a buck that is non-typical but still looks typical in certain ways, like just has a bunch of junk but still has a good 10-point frame or 8-point frame, like I like those deer a lot.
Yeah.
But really, I think my dream buck may or may not have junk, but has at least 10 typical and is heavy. I like a deer with mass more than just about any other characteristic. I think mass is my deal. I also like tall tines, like tall G2s. Tall, to me, if there's no other tall tines, but he's got tall G2s, he looks like a big deer. You know what I mean?
I mean, G2s kind of determine the frame.
Exactly.
With width. So frame, if you wanted to give it math, okay, frame is width, tine length, main beam length. That's frame.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, to an extent, main beams can curl back in and be deceiving, but for the most part, that's how you do a frame. So, like, a deer who has tall tines is going to look like he has a big frame.
Yeah. I mean, you could shoot a straight up spike if he was big enough and he'd look, I mean, he's tall enough and he'd be like, that's a big old deer.
Yeah, exactly.
And he had mass or whatever. So to me, like mass and G2s are kind of the two main things I like. So, you know, Dream Buck probably has 14-inch G2s, probably like 45 inches of mass. Yeah.
Are you talking about the deer you shot? Or are you talking about something different?
Yeah, dude, it's hard. I mean, I was telling you this the other day. I have a hard time imagining topping last year. Well, the year before was probably better, honestly. Just overall, I shot one more deer, and one of those was a giant too. Actually, two of them were giants, right? Actually, three.
I don't know.
Giants.
I
would say the
confused.
Illinois buck and this buck are both giant.
Gosh, we're looking at 3 deer on your wall from that year.
I got 3 shoulder mounts in 20, but I only got one last year, but he was bigger than any of my other ones.
Well, you don't have him yet, but we will.
Well, yeah, I will. Yeah, at some point. So that's it's gonna be hard to top. It kind of almost makes you sad, but it also is like, I don't know, man. I just like shooting deer. I don't really care, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the buck I shot in South Dakota this past year was he might not break 100 inches, but just the situation, the scenario, like the place we're in, it's hard to beat.
I know, dude.
I just like it, man.
Me too.
It's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
So dream fish, real quick. Is it dumb
like
to say like a 60-pound mahi?
No, I think it's a little cool.
I think they're awesome, dude.
I'm going to eat the tar out of that.
Yeah,
That's
get a replica.
How sad is it to just like take your dream thing and just go start cutting it up? You know what I mean?
Have you ever watched them fillet one of them things?
Yeah,
they go
up in
all the way
head.
up to the head, dude. It's weird.
Yeah, they got meat all up in that head.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's strange, man. It is for sure. Dream fish, huh? I don't
Honestly, a big tarpon would be hard to beat.
It would be hard to beat.
Like 150-pound
I
tarpon.
have a hard time with stuff, and I shouldn't let it bother me, but like that's such it's a dream, but it's also a very industrialized thing that a lot of people have. I shouldn't care if other people have it or not, right? You know? Like,
yeah, I like it because I feel like there would probably be hardly any rush. This is the same thing that you're talking about. I hate to fall into this category of like I like fish because they jump, but dadgummit, when a fish jumps, cool. I can't even stop yelling pretty much. You know, I think it's just the coolest thing. And so to feel the like just velocity of a tarpon and then also to see it jump, I just don't know if it could get much better, man. And also you can catch them on flies pretty, like you stand a pretty good chance to catch them on a fly.
It's a good way to catch one.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Almost caught one on a fly one time.
Dadgummit, dude.
Yep. Ripped the drag, dude. I could not believe, yes.
You would have been
from the jetty.
Dude, you would have been a dadgum star.
Yeah, it was me, my wife, and Chance standing on the end of the jetty. Can you believe? Like, it was crazy, dude.
It's cool.
Yeah, and then got spit, but yeah, it was unbelievable. I couldn't, we were just kind of playing around.
Yeah.
It's wild. But, yeah, that's a cool one, man. It is. I don't mean to diminish your dream one, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
About that? It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a...
It's kind of why I like the Dorado. It feels more wild than a tarpon.
Yeah.
Seems like those tarpon just kind of encounter people and industry and commercial things and buildings and stuff a lot more than...
They're inshore species.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like a mahi might not have ever even seen a person. They might have seen some boats, or whatever, but...
Yeah. I'll tell you my dream fish. Dream fish is a 13-plus tiger.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a dream fish. I mean, I've dreamed about that one for a long time, so I'd have to say that just because...
You don't have enough room for that on your wall.
No, you don't mount those.
They do if you're Johnny Morris.
Yeah, that's true.
You put it in Bass Pro.
Yeah.
You just get a big old the jaw made or a replica of the jaw or something like that.
I always talked about trying to pop a tooth out.
Yeah.
Because, sharks lose their teeth periodically, and I was like, which could be real dangerous, too. You get down there by the end of that thing.
Dude,
no
just
thanks.
one head shake.
That's right, dude.
Bye-bye, arm.
Oh, man. Golly. Oh, goodness. That'd be wild. I guess that's probably my dream fish. Not because they are pretty, but not because they're colorful, but just because of the raw power and stuff. I mean, a big hammer, too, but I just feel like I'm not going to catch one of those because they're so hard to catch. So hard to land, at least. Had a big tiger on before. It's pretty sick.
Scary, dude.
Backlashed my reel. And I ain't talking about a casting reel,
Yeah.
Like the run's so hard that it backlashed the reel.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Golly,
yeah,
man.
it was crazy. I had him on like a 6/0, so it wasn't like probably wouldn't have been able to handle him anyways. But yeah.
So there was something I cut you off on before we started talking about the dream buck and dream fish. I can't remember.
Oh, I was just telling you about the things we were excited about this year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
yeah,
we'll let that sleeping dog lie.
Yeah,
it's been kind of fun
for sure.
If you, I don't know. I'm lost.
We like we said at the beginning of this thing, we have a broadhead video that we'll be releasing. Let's see, we had 2%. Now we have 9% uploaded. So hopefully we'll get that out to you about the same time this podcast goes out. And if you want to see what we think more about the broadheads and that kind of thing, why they would. Like what situations they would work well in and what we tend to use different broadheads for or how we have experienced them. You can check out that video. It's kind of almost like a podcast, except for you get to see everything. We do the video as a video, but it's the length of a daggum podcast.
But we don't bog it down as much.
No,
it's definitely fast paced. Just go through a lot of stuff.
That's right. And there's a bunch of deer footage and stuff too. So threw that in there to kind of show you how they perform. I guess
what correlates to what there.
Yeah,
it's pretty good stuff. We also have been recording some mapping videos that we're going to release. Kind of doing some state by state stuff, states we've hunted or have experience in or whatever. Just kind of not quite like what the Map Scout Challenge stuff we've done in the past, but still, using OnX and going through stuff, but just a little bit more of our process and maybe like a season's approach to, a state level of like, if you're thinking about hunting a state or traveling somewhere, some things to keep in mind and stuff. So I hope y'all will enjoy that. That stuff will probably be releasing, a little bit later in the month.
Yeah.
But
dude, OnX is, it is clutch for a Texan this time of year because we've talked about this. We were on a podcast the other day, somebody else's podcast, and they're asking us, about getting out and scouting. And we're like, man, we pretty much don't do a lot of summer scouting here. We're going to hang cameras before the season on places we found on maps pretty much. But, when we were younger, we did do a bunch of scouting in the summertime. And you have to do some of that to learn what things look like on a map, right? So then you can do your map scouting and not have to burn up your boot. Yeah.
And quite honestly, like if we were going to go hunt, I don't know, let's pick a big buck state we haven't been to. Like if we're going to go hunt Kentucky and like in the rut, I'd probably want to go up there and look at it a little bit more and would do that. But once you've been to a state quite a few times, you can start making some inferences, and they're not always correct, but a lot of times they will be.
Yeah, so that's we've been spending a lot of time on OnX actually, but these videos are going to have some of that in there. We're going to show you kind of just broad overviews of like what we would do in the pre-rut, what we do in the rut, what we do in the post-rut, and then like what we would look for as opposed to, really just breaking down a specific WMA or something like that, like we've done with the Map Scout challenges in the past.
Yeah. Do we have a discount code for OnX now or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's a discount code. The code is Element, so I don't think it's cap specific.
If you need some new OnX or want to try it out, use that. You either get a discount or you just help us out. I don't know which one it is.
I think it's a discount. I think it's like 20% off or something.
Yeah.
So
surely. We fought for the people, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. If that doesn't work, let us know. But I'm pretty sure that's going to work, y'all. So, check that out. That'll get you 20% off the Elite membership and get you everything you need for the next season. So anyway, appreciate you guys listening. We are going to now crack down on some more of the map scouting videos. And remember, this is your element.
Living it.